Hi, and welcome to the Divinely Inspired Woman podcast. I am your host, Patricia Wald-Hopkins. I am a modern mystic, and I am here to share with you the beautiful wisdom and stories from women that desire to lead their lives inspired by the divine within them. The divinely inspired woman is devoted to walking the path of her soul's calling, tuning into the divinity within to navigate life with ease and grace through all circumstances. She cultivates beauty in her daily life. She is here to share the most authentic self each day through thick and thin. So I hope you enjoy our show today and that you will leave with an infusion of inspiration for your soul and for your day and living your life. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Divinely Inspired Woman podcast. This is season 2. I'm very excited about season 2, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But I'm your host, Patricia Wald-Hopkins, and I have a beautiful guest with me here today, Mariposa Young. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello. It's such an honor to be here. I'm so excited about this.
I'm happy to have you back again to have another conversation. And let me just tell you a little bit about Mariposa if you are not familiar with her from season 1. She is an heirloom divination practitioner, woman, specialist, goddess. She was taught by her mother and grandmother how to read palms, cards, and the stars, starting at a very young age, even before she learned to read. She's kept this practice all of her life, and she says that you thrive in group settings, and since your 20s, you used to read at large corporate events. Is that correct? Yeah.
This is all true.
Yeah. And she loves to go and do this at parties, celebrations, meetings, and fairs. And she just has a great passion, a desire to pass along this knowledge, while she also does readings for entertainment and self-discovery. And she finds that very fulfilling. She feels called to help others to gain this knowledge, this practice, and confidence to do readings themselves, especially palmistry. So that is just a fascinating skill set. And I know that you gave me a little sampler, I think, of my reading my palm at one point, and it felt really spot on. So yeah, I really like that you like to be in public spaces. Tell us a little bit about that, because we're going to get to that with the archetype that we're going to work together
Yes.
with today, the entertainer archetype of the Voices of Gaia. But tell me a little bit about where you're at right now with all of that, with your business and sharing.
Right. So this coming Saturday, I have a gig, and I will be at a wedding reception, and there's going to be about 200 guests, and they pay me the big bucks, and then I just read everybody's palms for free that want a reading while I'm there. And when I'm in public spaces like that, I kind of imagine that I have like tentacles of energy that are
Yeah.
going out from me, waving around, and that people can feel me, like really feel my energy, and then they will come and get a reading. And it is really rare that I'm just sitting around twiddling my thumbs. It's usually like back to back to back, because that first one goes and tells their friends what happened. And then, like I usually have a line, and it's really fulfilling, and it is very public. I kind of feel like a billboard or a spotlight of, divine energy that I am
Mm,
emanating out. And it's not really about me, Mariposa.
mhm,
I'm
mhm,
just kind of being a vessel in that moment. And I'm just, I set intentions before every kind of public event or even one-on-one reading that I am serving in that moment to bring forth whatever needs to be brought forth in a way, that maybe that person doesn't have access to,
mhm,
that I'm bringing forth some messages that are needed,
mhm.
but kind and beautifully set forth, and so that they might receive. Um, so I feel like as entertaining as I can be, as kind of like magnetic as I can be,
Mhm.
when I'm in spaces where I'm being a reader, I am I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like the self that, really likes beef jerky and flavored sparkling water and likes jokes and funny memes and like I am not that person. I am just being in service, and I'm kind of putting myself to the side and
Mhm.
just really being there and present for other people. And
Sure.
then my non-magical work uh, has been in education. And same. So there is just so much research, real research in education, that what helps us learn is to enjoy what we're learning
Mm, mhm. That's pretty
and
magical.
and to be happy, to be joyful, to be entertained.
Mhm.
Is there's quite a bit of exciting stuff about gamification, for example.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. And so whenever you can sneak in pleasure with learning, that learning, you're going to learn it more deeply and also retain it for longer if it is like pleasurable.
I agree totally. 'Cause you're open, right? You're open
Right.
to receive, because if you're stressed, you're like, no. That's it. Force field. That's how my kids are. It's got to be fun. Yeah, I'd not heard that term, gamification.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about that, if it feels good to
Yeah,
you, pleasurable?
it's like a whole subset of education, and like
Oh
how can we
wow.
create games that also are instructional and use that in and out of classrooms, and
Mm-hmm.
even
Mm-hmm.
setting it as homework and whatever. And even for adults, it is like magic, like they're engaged and everything. And um I like to learn myself.
Yes.
and
Me too.
and I really am learning quite a bit about IT topics. And
Okay.
so I really seek out like learner apps to keep me sharp, that are not, at least not boring, plodding, and like have some kind of fun sparkle to them, like rewards or stars or like
Right.
something. And if it doesn't have anything, I'm out. Because I actually know how important it is for my own learning. Like it's fun is very serious. And then, most of my classroom experience as a teacher has been with at-risk teenagers.
Okay.
And there is just so much going on in their lives that are sad and tragic and make them mad and everything. And they are not used to feeling safe or happy or, finding things funny. And I would dress funny. Look at what I got on my face.
Love your
I would tell jokes. I would, make fun of myself like all day long, all day long. And my goal was I needed to get these kids to crack a guffaw or even like a, of laughter in every single class, every single day.
Yeah.
To help them learn. I also fed them. I also provided them with water. I all the basic needs, but I considered being fun as being a basic need. And I would make games as well in the classroom that we would play to learn, especially for topics that are just really not fun and boring by nature, like grammar. I was an English teacher. And so I would put them in teams and make it competitive, and they got candy if they won. And oh my gosh, they were so excited about grammar.
That's pretty impressive. No, I was a strange kid, but I liked grammar. But I wanted to just put this in there and see what you think about it. I mean, what you're sharing about making things pleasurable, and it really, I come from a background of like biochemistry and things like that, biology. It shifts your biochemistry to do that, right? So you're actually opening up
Yes.
like neural pathways for them. So that's very magical to me.
It helps with brain elasticity.
Yes.
Just to be happy.
Yes. Just to be, imagine that.
So it's real serious business. And as a reader in public spaces, I am encountering strangers in a very intimate context. I might have messages that are tough,
Yeah.
that are hard. I might be broaching on some very personal and private hard things. And I still have to make it safe. I still, without like poo-pooing on that or trying to obscure those hard things, have to deliver it in a kind
Yeah.
and compassionate manner. And I need to wrap it around with fun. So I begin with fun and I end with fun. I always have freebies of like like little crystals they can take with them, and they're always like, "Oh, it's really, I can have one? What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you better take one." "Well, which one should I take?" "Oh no, honey, you got to pick that yourself. Which one is calling to you?" And making it a fun, beautiful exchange, but still full of agency for them.
Full of agency. Yeah. Yeah, that feels like heart connection first, right? It's relaxing the body and then the heart connection, and then you can receive the medicine from your readings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so same, like regular work, spiritual work, same.
It's
We're
true.
going to focus on enjoyment. We're going to focus on being relaxed. We're going to focus on being safe. And then, the content is like kind of secondary. Even the message is kind of secondary. I want to make sure people have a good time with me, even if it's for, uh, you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in a big venue and, a lot going on. Still, they need to feel like the most important person in the world for 10, 15 minutes.
Now, how do you, I mean, that is like, being very present for people, right? For a large amount of people in a relatively short amount of time. How do you stabilize yourself? How do you keep yourself in the game with something like that?
I have to do a lot of spiritual prep
Yeah.
beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's primarily with meditation, but also a little magic.
Little magic.
Because magic is just entertainment for your brain as well. And then afterwards, honestly, I can feel kind of hungover, and I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
a scrap of nothing. I can feel really drained and hungover, and I gotta honor how I feel and like
Mm-hmm.
really take it easy, especially, that night or, like the next day. And I really gotta be mellow, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let the energy move out. Uh,
Yes. And I really can't keep things, some things are real heavy and I cannot keep it. I have to keep it moving.
mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
you can visit and then you have to go because
Yeah.
it doesn't belong to me. So,
Well, that's true with readings or with being in a large group where you're teaching or whatever, because it can take on so much, energy around you. I find that in the work I do as well, which is either in the magical world or not. And
right,
letting connecting to source, and connecting to the grounding, right? Grounding, with the earth has always been very supportive for me.
grounding is very important. And
Yeah.
this taking care of the basics most of all, making
Mhm.
sure I'm hydrated, that I'm fed, that
Take a
that
sip.
I have the opportunity to exercise,
Fresh
um,
air,
that
nature.
I
Yes.
sleep well.
Well, and the reason I'm asking you these questions is, I mean, because I think you're amazing, but like I want people to know, when you show up like this, you are showing up as a leader, right? You're showing up as a way of how to engage in life. And that's a lot about, what the voices of Gaia, the archetypes are about, is showing up as heart leaders, showing up from that place of love, right?
Mhm.
Rather than serious, kind of forced, yeah, that
Yeah,
energy where, yeah, exactly. It's more like this, right? This is, kind of like that. And so, people, it's great to share with people how you do your work.
right.
And yeah,
And
because
some people
it's
are
the other
like,
way.
you do so much work with like, the public, like strangers. How do you deal with people who, don't believe that you
Ah,
have any talent, or like they're like testing you or whatever? And I'm like, those are my favorite people because
yeah.
they sit down with me and I blow their mind. And then they're a believer. So those are my very favorite people. And
You
I
can see
don't
the biggest shift. Yeah, that can be
and I
challenging.
don't I don't care. People can come to me from where they're at. I don't think like, oh, first you have to blah blah blah. You have to believe the same as me and blah blah blah, because that's not being in service to people.
Hmm. Hmm.
You
Yeah,
got to meet them where they're at right now.
yeah, yeah. That's true. You have to meet people where they're at, or they can't feel safe in receiving, right? It's
Right.
are opening up to you. Now I want to share this phrase that you gave me. Showing up is the showing out and being present. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Showing up is easy. You go to the thing.
Got it. Okay. Is it a step
You're
success?
standing in front of the class. You're sitting in the chair behind the booth. You are there. And it is the easiest thing, but let's not forget about it. I mean, you really got to think about presentation and like smile. I mean,
right? I can't show up like a little mouse.
you really got to think, I have to be approachable.
Body
I have to be open. What does that look like? Well, I don't cross like my arms and legs. I don't, like scrunch down, I be open, right? Just open. And I smile. Every single person can do that. They can smile and be open. It doesn't matter all the other things. But of course, the basics like be clean, have, a comfortable yet nice outfit on. And, so that's all part of showing up. You show up. And then showing out has a lot to do with those things I talked about, like really intentionally putting my energy out there to attract people and be like, yes, I'm here for you. And the me that's showing up here is not really Mariposa Young. It is a messenger. And this is an opportunity. And I have messages for you.
Right.
And so that is showing out, really energetically putting that out there and making every single person in front of you feel like you see them.
That's so important.
Even if it's a whole group, really thinking about this is a group of individuals that I'm in front of. And I'm just being of service to these individuals. So that's showing out. That's showing out. And I think the best way to get there is with practice. I really do. There's just nothing I could say to really prepare people to they just really
I'm just waiting for your academy to train people to do this, to show up, show out, and be present, right?
And be present. Yeah. And a lot of times I'm so present while I'm doing readings or whatever that I need tools to help me out. Like I need a timer, like a timer to make sure I don't spend too much time with one person. And I need to wear a watch, or I need to have my phone out so I can see the time on it or something. Like I need like tools because I will be super present and like hyper focused on the people I'm serving and kind of get lost with, my time frame and everything like that. I'm infamous for staying too long at gigs because I'm like, I still have a line.
Stuff to tell you.
And you came and I got a message. And so, even like people that run it are like, oh, are you done yet? I still got messages. You need a rating? So, so that's the be present, right? So show up, show out, and be present. And none of that has to do with being ego driven and self-centered. And entertainers of all kinds, the most talented ones, lose themselves.
Yeah.
To the
Right?
moment and the
zone.
performance and, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not really any specialer than any of that, right? Any of that training, any of that experience. It's really all the same. So you don't you all you need is to really know what you're talking about, right? Like as an English teacher, I have to know
Your subject matter.
how to read and write really well, and the ins and outs.
Some skills, some mastery.
Right. And as a reader, I got to know how to do readings,
Yeah.
And then the so you got to have something to share, and then a big huge part of it is drawing people in, entertaining them, giving them a great experience, because guess what? That will stick with them, that will stay with them, and then you get repeat customers, right? Then you get more business, and you're kind of doing more of what you've been asked here to do, which is to share your gifts with humanity. So it's like a big, humongous win-win as far as I see it. It all works together.
I can tell it brings you a lot of joy. I mean,
it does.
I feel that. And I have a question. Well, I have two questions for you. And the first one is, I know that you read other people's palms and you do a lot of other divination. Did you always know that you were going to do this based on like your own palmistry? I mean, did you have was that guidance in your life early on?
Yeah, there are metaphysical talent indicators in palmistry. Okay. And so I had the signs all along.
Yeah, do.
But my family also groomed me because, I come to this with heirloom skills. So my family also saw this in me, the talent and the signs and stuff, and guided me. I remember being itty bitty and being at my grandmother's and my mother's elbows while they're doing readings for other people, and really getting a front row seat into what that service looks like. And what really turned me on was to see, people I love that I'm very close to, say things I'd never heard them say before, in a tone of voice I've never heard before, or,
very magical.
Just like, kind of channeling something. Really. And knowing that was not them as their ego self. That was something else. And I was like, I want to do this. This seems really cool. I want to do it. And so, ambition is like everything, right? And so I did. And
here you are. And I do know, and we'll come back to this at the end to letting people know how to connect with you, but I do know that you not only do the readings, but you actually, like we said in your bio, you help people learn how to do this, right?
Yes,
so that's another part of your service to the collective. But I want to do a little play with you here. And so you most resonated with the Voices of Gaia New Earth Leader archetype. It's a mouthful, of the entertainer. So I would like to just do a little mini activation for you and see what comes through for you. Okay, so it's not long. It's just some words, but they're words that were brought through and some energies. So let's see here. as an entertainer, just really receive these. And you are here to share the frequency of the light of divinely inspired play. You hear that? The frequency of the light of divinely inspired play that comes through your voice as a voice of Gaia and a new earth leader. The mission of the entertainer is to continually enrich the spirit of each human that has made the transition or is making the transition to the new earth consciousness, which is a field of love, living from a heart center. The entertainer embodies the essence of mastery, innocence, invisibility, rapture, humility, and celebration, along with liberation and communion. They embody the human gifts of versatility, innovation, artfulness, lightness, leadership, detachment, dynamism, and synergy. And they transmute the shadows or the challenges of the collective of indifference, chaos, pride, desire, arrogance, expectation, provocation, and domination. So those are a lot of words. But the superpowers really lie in being somebody who can show up for the collective to inspire others through play and do it in a way that's very much, like you said, outside of the ego, outside of the need for the ego to be in recognition, but more as like a divine play, like the divine play of life, being an actor on the stage, in higher service for a higher calling and a higher purpose. And so that is what the entertainer of the new earth is. And this archetype, this is the 8th of the 8. And the reason it's at the end or the beginning, if you want to look at it that way, is because this is the one that is the most out there, the one who comes with an open message, like they're on the stage. The other ones might be on the stage, or they might be doing work in the background, or but this one, this archetype is like, yeah, I'm here to be seen. And like you said, not seen for who I am, but seen for what I'm here to share with you, to open up your heart. So that is the entertainer. So where did that land in you? Did any of it land in you? Did you feel anything?
Yeah, that sounds really right on to the experience of being an entertainer. I would add that, like, especially with that 8 of 8 at the end or the beginning, I really think that the most talented readers that are, embodying that entertainment thing are, including myself, are spiritual pioneers. And that we're kind of stretching ourselves a lot more in connection with the divine than most people do, to show you what that looks like and to give you messages from that experience.
Yes.
And you just never know how that's gonna land. I mean,
True.
People can reject you about it, they can embrace you about it. There can be all kinds of reactions to that. And so when you really know where this is coming from and you're being really heart-centered, then none of that really matters.
You can let it
You
go.
just are confident that, as a collective, people will come around. Because that's what pioneers do, is they go forth and they bring back that to the collective, and then, it's kind of a delay for
It is
before
a delay, but you're raising
before the collective
yeah.
before the collective is on board.
Go before. I know. I won't go too much into numerology, but I'm a soul path 1. So look at this work I'm doing here. People are like, I'm like, just listen. Put on a costume. It's fun.
Right. So I
Yeah.
just have to be patient, and I just have
Mhm.
to keep going.
You keep going.
That's it.
Mhm. Well, I'm so glad that you do what you do and that you're willing to, do it in a big way, right? Show up for lots of people because not everybody can do that. Not everybody's designed, to hold that energy.
It's
So
true. It's not for everyone, for
it's not
sure.
for everyone. We all have our roles, and so does
Right.
it's
Right.
just yeah. So once we can align with what our gifts are and show up fully in those, then everyone else can show up in theirs, and we just help each other out, right? Move it along.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
before we close today, as I'm watching my timer, I want to make sure,
Thank you for
um,
that.
yeah, I want to make sure that we let people know how to connect with you, if they want to learn more about what you do, or find you for a reading, or training, or whatever it is that you're offering.
Yeah. Well, my main hub is my website,
Okay.
mariposayoung.com. It's just my name.com.
Yeah, I'll put it in the write-up
So
too.
it just has everything there, like scheduling readings. You can even try me out with getting a free reading, see if I'm a good fit for you, and classes. And also, I'm doing a new spiritual group. I'm part of a new spiritual group, and it's a paid group, but we're getting more intimate about sharing our gifts and talents with each other in that more private space.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Wonderful.
so that is exciting. But again, more information on that is on my website, including stuff about the Divinely Inspired Woman podcast.
Ooh,
Because
yay.
let's not forget, you are also an entertainer. Yeah.
I got a little bit of that in me. Yeah, I certainly do. Yeah. Well, I will make sure that we have all those links for people to reach out and connect with you. And again, thank you so much for coming to play. I always learn a lot when I sit with you, and it just feels good. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Me too. I love it so much. Let's
So
be
season 3.
BFFs.
You're gonna be back for season 3, Mariposa.
Absolutely. When does it
Yeah,
start?
I'll let you know. I never know. Divine inspiration has to come through. But let's go ahead and thank everybody that has joined us here
Yes,
today.
thank you.
And yeah, just stay divinely inspired and playful. And that just makes life more pleasurable.
It does.
But,
It's the
yeah,
only way, really.
yeah, yep. We all got to go through things, but if you can find a way to bring in some play, it's definitely a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. Until next time, stay divinely inspired. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Divinely Inspired Woman. Again, I am your host, Patricia Wald-Hopkins, and I am so glad that you joined us here today. I hope you left with some soul food to inspire your daily life. And if you would like to learn more about my work, please check out my website, patriciawaldhopkins.com, and you can find out more about my divinely inspired practice and tools. So, thank you again. Have a beautiful day. Hi. I'm dropping in here with an announcement about a program, a new mentorship that I am offering. It's called Voices of Gaia, and it's about bringing your voice, your leadership, your life in alignment with Gaia's guidance. So if you feel called to learn more about this program, it's a beautiful, rich program where we dive into your essence. And if you so desire, we develop your business around it and really blossom into your whole lifestyle, this wisdom from Gaia that wants to be spoken through you. So if you feel called, reach out to me at patricia@patriciawaldhopkins.com. That's patricia@patriciawaldhopkins.com. There's no hyphen between Wald and Hopkins. And I would just love to hear from you and see if this is a good fit. So thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful day.